is.
Welcome to Capes and Scowls Trade Reviews.
Trade reviews, something new we're doing. We want you, the newer comic reader, to know things that you can jump right into and just where to start. I know, I want to read Spider-Man. Yeah, I hear you. It's not that easy. But we're starting with a one and done, and I love this book.
I love this book too. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Cliff.
And I'm Tim.
And this is easily the most fun I've ever had reading a comic book.
It is pretty amazing. It is Sexcastle by Kyle Starks.
This book is the embodiment of an 80s movie written out. The drawing fits the story of the book perfectly. It's kind of cartoony and relaxed.
It's very relaxed, and I like how it's unapologetic about its influences. There's a nice intro from Starks in the beginning where he says, "Hey, I watched way too many 80s movies," and it clearly shows.
It's everything. It's so the book's based around Shane Sexcastle. He was an assassin for the government. He got locked up for killing somebody, and then he comes out. The president meets him, and he basically tells the president he's going to kill him. The Secret Service stands there and they're like, "What are you going to do?" And the president's like, "If I was concerned about him killing me, I would have brought more than the three of you." Gives you an idea of where he stands. He's just like you can tell he's a hard ass, but his time in prison has really changed him to just change course. He just wants to do good in life and bring wellness to people.
And like a typical 80s movie, that's not gonna happen.
He tries to work at a flower shop.
He tries. But it actually has a little bit of that 70s movie kind of feel where it's like the evil mayor of the town kind of is running the place, and it feels very Dukes of Hazzard to me almost in a way.
And the big thing is he catches the mayor saying, "You're going to say the town's not big enough for the two of us?" And it's like, that's where it's going. And it's funny that he points out the ridiculousness in the statement. And then of course the mayor says, "The town's not big enough for the two of us."
Yep. There's a lot of cool little nods to 80s movies. Most of them are the big ones. If you've seen the big 80s action movies, if you at least know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is and
Mr. T.
Mr. T.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Charles Bronson made me very, very happy. And Wesley Snipes, but mostly Blade.
Right.
It was almost like, well, it was 90s, but Blade. Because, I like Blade. And I like how unapologetic it is. I like how over the top it is. I like gunchucks.
I love gunchucks.
Gunchucks?
But they're called the Dragons.
Ah, yes. And you don't want him to use them.
And then you spend a lot of time, I made mention to a couple times, his Lucky cigarette, which is my favorite part of the whole book. This, without a doubt, if you want to have a good time reading a comic book and just something laid back, relaxed, not a lot of thought, this is the most
fun. In a good way.
Right. No, it's not brainless. There's a lot of smart humor in it, and you can tell Kyle Starks appreciates what it is he's writing and really cares about it.
You can tell he's having fun, which that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this book first. This book is, like I said, I work at the comic book store, 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey. This pick, it never leaves my pick wall. It's always there, because that's how strongly I like this book.
I got this book because the name's ridiculous, and then from me getting the book, I got Tim to read it, our friend Rich who's been on the podcast to read it, our friend Tom who's been on the podcast to read it, and probably 40 or 50 other random people walking into the store, just me describing the book to them.
Right.
Because most people deep in the heart love the 80s action flick. It's just there's just something fun about seeing the 80s on screen.
I agree. So if you enjoy a more cartoony style, it's not super realistic, if you like having a good time, if you like over-the-top action, and just all-around zaniness. Now, this is a good pick for you to start off in this genre. It will be, at some point, a movie. The Workaholics people are involved to make the movie. And if you like Kyle Starks, he's worked on a bunch of other books. He's done Rick and Morty. He's done Invader Zim. He did some backup stories for Marvel with the Secret Wars. He did about D-Man, one of the most underused characters ever. And you could even tell then, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to write D-Man."
Right.
Just try and stop me, I'm writing D-Man. I wonder if they were like, you could write anything you want in a backup story. And he was like, D-Man.
Right. You can tell this is, writing comics is truly his passion. You can tell it's what gets him up in the morning. It's what he lives for. And it shows in everything that he writes.
Yep. And he's fun on Twitter, so follow him on there as well.
At the Kyle Starks.
So that's what I feel about this book. Anything you want to say to close it out?
No, just this is a truly good time to read, and you'll just have fun.
You like having fun, don't you?
Right. Who doesn't like fun?
I don't know. Jerks.
Jerks.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at mad_dog_Tim.
And I'm at HyperHippo. No E in Hyper.
Mm-hmm. And Capes and Scowls is on Twitter, at CapesAndScowls.
Right.
And our website is CapesAndScowlsPodcast.com. We're on everything, basically. Unless we don't care. Because we don't care. So follow us on there. We appreciate it. Follow Kyle Starks because he's awesome and he gives a damn.
Right. So welcome to the world of comic books.
There it is. And we'll be doing more of these trade reviews. And maybe we'll pick something a little more mainstream for you to jump into soon.
And if you have any ideas or requests of what you want us to review, let us know.
Mm-hmm. CapesAndScowlsPodcast@gmail. Or the Twitter.
Or the Twitter.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.